Here are my opinions on Train to the End of the World. Anime is such a unique medium for storytelling because of how vastly different the narrative can be. This sometimes creates super weird titles, and Train to the End of the World is certainly an example of how out there these stories can get. Yet, through the unpredictable medium the story is conveyed in, its central theme about reconciliation of the past and future, even in turbulent times, is well crafted, with humor and interesting conflicts, even if there's some questionable moments sprinkled in. The anime's central idea that change happens, but that doesn't mean it's the end, is carried pretty well in the anime, as we see despite the vast changes to Japan, life continues on in most places. A character we see exemplify the acceptance of the 7G change is Mito, who despite the loss of her home, manages to create a new one for herself as Queen of the Zombies. Additionally, in the anime's climax, we see the reason for Shizuru and Yoka's fight, being revealed to be cruel words that Shizuru said when she learned that Yoka wanted to leave Agano. And while that change is scary, Shizuru apologizes and accepts her lack of support, because just because their friendship might change, it doesn't mean that it has to end. Part of what sells this idea of reconciliation is to see how rich the friendships of the Agano crew are, by showing how they clash but ultimately love each other. This is probably best explored by Remy and Akira, two opposites who despite their slightly antagonistic banter, will always be there for each other. The show also manages to slip a lot of funny stuff into the journey, with zombies dying via smut, a dance distraction, a crazy dude in a swan boat, and the power of melon. Surprisingly, there's some interesting fights as well, such as a horde of zombies, overpowered manga artists, cartoon villains in a cemetery, a dictator of tiny people, and the person holding their friend hostage so he can stay in power. Now, my major gripe with the show is that it seems there's an unnecessary perviness to it, with questionable outfit choices, zombies dying from lewdness, and weaponized urination. Yet despite some of the odd components of the show, I think that Train to the End of the World manages to tell an engaging and emotionally rich story that never ceases to bore me. But as always, that's just my opinion. What did you think of Train to the End of the World?